All right, we are now doing final exam part 1, important questions. This is number 1 that we're going to do. It says evaluate, and it's 3x over y. And what we're given, normally that'd be okay, but we're given fractions. We're given fractions that get embedded in fractions, and that's a problem. So, what do we do first? Any ideas, Ben? You get 3 onto 4/5. You create a pocket. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Over 3/10. Now what you've done is you've got a fraction over a fraction. We're going to simplify this by multiplying 3 times 4/5. That's equal to 12 over 5. 12 over 5 over 3 over 10. Just a sec. We don't need the answer. We need the process, right? There we go. Now, to do this question here, there's a couple different ways, but one of the easiest ways is to recognize what this means is division. So what this really says is 12 over 5 divided by 3 over 10. So let's write that. 12 over 5 divided by 3 over 10. And what that really is multiplying by the reciprocal, but we'll do 12 over 5 divided by the divided by symbol. No, not like that, but like, yeah, right here. You can go across the boards with the division sign right here. 12 over 5, the division sign, divided by, on the other side, there you go. That's fine. That's good. Good. So does that make sense to everybody? That a fraction sign, a fraction, the bar in the fraction means division. So to finish this off, what this is you multiply by the reciprocal. So it's 12 over 5 times 10 over 3. 12 over 5 times 10 over 3. And I'm just reviewing this so you know that even though this looks like an easy question, you've got to know your fractions. So review your fractions. And that's equal to, now we're gonna cross out the 3 into the 12. It goes 4 times on the top, right? And 5 goes 1 into 2. We get 8. Okay? That's it. And then put a box around the 8. Okay? So that's the first one in terms of, this could be regarded as tricky. So, and I'm not sure that the ones in your exercises in your package are as tricky. So I'm glad we did this. So now let's go over here and do number 2. You don't have to erase it, please. Okay, do it over here. Or erase it, go ahead. Second. This is negative 4x plus x squared minus 1, and you're meant to replace x equals a half in for x. So we create our pockets and we put our half into each of those pockets. So we get negative 4 times a half plus 1 half squared minus 1. Then negative 4 times a half is negative 2. Negative 1 half squared is equal to 1/4 because a half times a half is 1/4 minus 1. So we have negative 2 plus 1/4 minus 1. That's negative 3 plus 1/4. And there's 2 ways to do it. The short way is just negative 2 3/4 because you know 1/4 less than negative 3 is negative 2 3/4. The longer way, you put the same common denominator. You get negative 12 over 4 for negative 3 because 4 goes into 12 3 times. You add 1/4 and you've got negative 12 plus 1, which is negative 11 over 4. When you make it a mixed number, it's negative 2 3/4. So Jessica's going to show us where you can go wrong in this. And in the meantime, Olivia, you can write number 3 over on this board here. Thanks. Go ahead, Jessica. You want to erase the whole thing? Does everybody have that down? Does everybody have it? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, record. Good. So on this one, our third question of the review, what's our first step? Do you know, Jazzy? Just stand a little bit aside.
Simplify.
Simplify. Good. You got that right. Amave, what would we do here? How do we deal with these cubes, like these exponents? Seems like this is poking on something that maybe you're not as familiar with. You're having a bit of a problem with. Danielle? So then you should note how I need to practice exponents. All right? Anybody? Aaron?
Add the exponents.
Add the exponents. What do you mean add the exponents? Not really adding them, right?
Multiply, rather.
Multiply, right. So what's our first thing here? Negative 4 cubed. What would that equal?
No.
Okay, you do it. That's fine. Go ahead. All right.
64.
Negative 4 cubed. Yeah, okay, but let's write it out. Let's write it out. Hold on a second. Just wait. I'll do it. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
That was some funny.
Negative 4 cubed, and then we've got x to the what? 6th. Because you're not adding them. You see, this is. You see, you only add them when you have x squared times. This is really important. That would equal x to the 2 plus 3. I'm going to put this on YouTube in a second. Okay? I'll just do this real quick. this quick review. X squared times x cubed, that equals x to the 2 plus 3, which is equal to x to the 5th. But x squared with the 3 like that is equal to x to the 6th. These are very important things to remember right there. You've got to review those and remember that with exponents. That's like that thing I was telling you. There's one important tool to solve each type of problem. That's it right there. So 4 cubed, let's go back to the question at hand. Negative 4 cubed. Be careful with that because the negative 4 has to be in brackets. Does everybody see why? The negative 4 cubed has to be in brackets? In other words, one of these? Because you've got to remember the negative 4 is a negative, right? So it's multiplied by itself 3 times. And is it going to be negative in the end? We'll see.
Why did
Okay?
you put it in brackets?
Because you'll see why in a minute. I want to make sure that nobody thinks it's negative and then 4 cubed.
Yeah, it will.
That's different.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Different. So now this would be what? What's 8 squared? 8 squared, just put 8 squared. 8 squared. X squared, y squared, z squared. That's all you need to put for that. X squared, y squared, z squared.
I know.
Okay? Now, let's go and rewrite again. We've got negative 4 cubed equals what? Does anybody know?
64.
It equals 64, negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative 64, that's right. Because 4 times 4 is, negative 4 times negative 4 is 16, times negative 4 is negative 64. And then we've got our x to the 6y cubed over 64x squared y squared z squared. It's getting easier now. 64x squared y squared z squared. What do we do with our negative 64 over 64 equals what? Negative 1 or 1? Don? Negative 1, so it equals negative 1. And what's x6 divided by x squared? X to the what? X to the 4th, because you subtract exponents. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
You subtract the exponents when you divide, and you add them when you multiply.
Wait, how's that again?
X to the 6th, well, if negative 64 over 64 is negative 1, x to the 6th divided by x squared is x to the 6 minus 2, which is equal to x to the 4th. And y cubed divided by y squared is y, and z squared is on the bottom. Okay, z squared is on the bottom.
Talking about the negative 1.
Yeah, that's because negative 64 over 64 is negative 1. Anything over itself is 1, and it's negative, so it's
Why
negative.
does this?
Z squared on the bottom because that's where it is. It didn't get, divided by anything. It stays on the bottom. So put a big box around that. That was pretty tricky, but you need to know that. You need to practice those because those will be on the final. Okay? All right, so let's go back to this board here. Everybody got that? Come on over, Olivia. And go ahead and erase that. And let's do this one. Let's do 3 to the negative 1. 3 to the negative 1. We're going to do negative exponents now. 3 to the negative 1.
Yes.
Times, or brackets, Okay. 3 to the negative 2. 3 to the negative 2. All over 3 to the 6th. Okay, so what do? We follow the same rules of exponents. Amari?
You put them on the bottom as a denominator.
Because you can't have
Well, what do we do to the top? How do we deal with the top?
Bring them to the bottom.
bottom because you can't have negative.
You could do that, but actually you can do that, but it's more complicated. Why don't we just deal with the 3? These are the same base, right?
Yeah.
They're both 3. So what can we do to the exponents? Add them. So we get 3 to the negative 3, right? 3, it's negative 1 plus negative 2. Write that. 3, and then write negative 1 plus negative 2. Okay? Okay, just keep it. And then over 3 to the 6th. So what that is 3 to the negative 3 over 3 to the 6th, right? 3 to the negative 3 over 3 to the 6th. See, now we kind of simplified it that way. We don't have to deal with a lot of different things. So now what do? Well, again, we have the same base, right? We have the same base. Yes, so it's 3 to the minus 3 minus 6. 3 to the minus 3 minus 6. This is the easiest way to do it. And that equals 3 to the negative 9. And now, what do we write? We don't want to leave it as a negative exponent. Yes, we write 1 over 3 to the 9th, and that's it. We box it and it's done.
Can you look at the very first step?
Yes, we'll do that. Just keep that from that. 1 over 3 to the 9th. Okay, we'll go back to the first step. First step, we've got the same base. That's what you really have to clarify is that when you're multiplying things at the same base, the 3 is a base. The same number on the bottom, the main big number is 3. Then you add the exponents. So we get 3 to the negative 3 because negative 1 and negative 2 is negative 3. Then on the bottom, we keep that. We're down here. Now, it's tempting to go, oh, this 3 to the negative 3 is 1 over 3 to the... It's complicated to do that. Just deal with your rules. If you have the same base, you subtract the exponents when you're dividing. So we get 3 to the negative 3 minus 6. As long as you're good with your negatives, you're subtracting negative 3 plus negative 6 is negative 9. 3 to the negative 9 can be written as 1 over 3 to the 9th, and that's your final answer. You don't want to leave it as a negative exponent, okay?